Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our live session with Xcel Global Services. We have our Mara agent, Pooja Rawal, here to
Right.
assist with our migration updates and also the allocation of the states. So here we are with lots of doubts and clarifications with regards to the migration updates. So let's get started with a few questions. As we all know that the allocation of the states have already been released. So we are starting our topic with that. So Pooja, you thank you for coming to the live session. So we have a lot of questions which are coming up, asking for the allocation of states and also the updates of different states across Australia. So the first question that I wanted to ask was, yesterday we have received the allocation and how it looks like compared to the last year.
Well, I know at this stage, everyone is like a bit confused, bit surprised because whatever they had initially released, the allocation of all different states is not even half of what they have released. So there's a lot of questions going on, like why is this? Are they going to be, is this a final allocation? Like why we are getting, like slash of more than like what we had before. But again, saying that, I would like to add, state is also taking a precaution because they are saying there are a lot of pending application of last year itself on their hand. And I think it is a good way of them clearing it up. And then I have a feeling like midway, there is sort of a speculation that midway through they are going to add some more quotas for all different states. As you can see, last year for ACT, like, we had 800 allocation for 190, whereas this year it's only 600. And there was like 1920 allocation for 491, whereas this year it's only 600. So there is a major drop down over there. Similarly for New South Wales as well. Last year they had 7,160 allocation for 190, whereas this year they have got only 2,650. And for 491 last year, New South Wales had 4,870, and this year they've got only 1,500. So you can imagine that's like going into the quarter level down.
Yeah.
And even same for NT, like, last year they had 600 allocation for 190, whereas this year they've got only 250. And for even 491 last year they had 840, whereas this year it's only 400. So there is a lot of cut. But again, saying that, I have a feeling like they will try to get all those backlash, of the visa application. And once they clear the system midway through, they will definitely, I think, I have a feeling they will add some more, quotas. Like, for example, Queensland, they had got 3,000 for 190 last year, whereas this year it's only 900, and 1,200 for, 491, whereas this year they've got only 650. And same as, like, South Australia, last year they had 2,700 allocation for 190, whereas this year they've got only 1,100. Like, even for 491 last year they had got 8,000, 3,080, whereas this year again 1,200 for 491. That's like a big drop.
Yes.
Same thing for Tasmania. Last year they had got 2,000 for 190, whereas this financial year they only allocated 600 for, so same thing even for 491. Last year they had got 1,350, and this year they were only 600. And comes the Victoria, the favorite part of everyone. Last year we had 9,000 allocation for 190, whereas just imagine this year we have got only 2,700. So I know all the people who are desperately waiting to apply for this financial year. It's going to be very tough competition. And for 491 as well, last year we had got 2,400 Victoria, and this year we have got only 600. I mean, like, there is a big drop there.
Yeah.
Even for Western Australia, like, last year they had got 5,350, allocation for 190, whereas this year it's only 1,500. And Same thing for 491. Last year they had got 2,790 allocation for 491, whereas this year it's only 850. So it's like a lucky draw. Who's gonna get it?
Yes.
So once the state will start inviting, then we'll know the pattern, whether how it happened last year. They were more offshore applicant, favored in compared to like onshore, like like you all must be knowing that there were a lot of applicant in IT profession last year. They got invite only for 70, 75, 80 points from offshore, whereas 90, 100 points we're still waiting for the invite.
Yes.
So we cannot actually any speculation at this stage, because there hasn't been any invite round yet.
Yeah.
So just to have a nutshell of what will be the pattern this year, we need to wait for the first invite round from all the state. And at this stage, New South Wales, Victoria, they still haven't even released what are the requirements
Yes.
for their state. So still it's a waiting game, but as soon as it's released, we'll definitely update you all there.
Yeah. Thank you. And as we all know that the allocation, state allocation for the financial year, what would be the best options? What would be the best options for them to apply for migration, or what would they do to increase the allocation of their skill or the occupation?
Um, Needless to say, as we all know, I think these few years, because of COVID, and still we are struggling, especially the employers are struggling to have skilled force in Australia, you know. So it really doesn't matter. Even there is like, I do understand it's a big void not having so many allocation this year, but there are other way you can come through as well. Like for example, employer sponsorship. There are different subclasses in the employer sponsorship quota where you can apply for different kind of visas, and they can come, provided your employer is ready to sponsor you, and also provided the client do meet the eligibility requirement of those visas. Then there are different pathway as well by which you can come. If you are not sure whether you want to settle down over here or not, and if you are from one of those countries where you can come for work and holiday visa, you can even think of those options as well. So it's not like, if you are not coming through a GSM pathway, which is a general skill migration, whose quota has been released, it doesn't end over there. There are lots and lots other opportunities by which you can come to Australia.
Yeah, thank you. And we didn't know about these training visa or the holiday visas where we can come over here and then pursue our migration
Yes.
opportunities.
Yep.
So thank you for this. And I also have a question. I mean, a lot of people might have this question that, once they have applied for 408, that's the temporary activity visa, will they be eligible to again apply for it? And what is the option that will they have to quit the country and go, or will they have to reapply for 408? What are the options that they have?
So 408 doesn't have any condition where you can only it's apply one time. Like for example, 485 is a subclass where you can only apply one time in your lifetime. So 408 doesn't have any such condition. As long as you're meeting the eligibility requirement of 408, you can reapply this visa. I do understand, like last year during COVID, so many people visas were expiring and they applied for 408, which might be coming towards the end expiry. If you are still working, if you still are contributing to the economy of Australia, I'm sure you will be able to apply for another 408 visa. If you have not found any pathway towards applying for permanent visa, you can
Okay.
still apply for 408 visa. We
Yes.
are lucky at this stage this visa is still on. They have not there is a lot of speculation that with this subclass will be off very soon. But as long as it's there, and as long as you're meeting the eligibility requirement, grab it, get
Yeah.
it done.
Yes. Thank you for it. And now, yeah, I also wanted to know about subclass 482 and what is the eligibility criteria for it, and what would be, the best options for them to come over here for offshore and onshore applicants.
So when you are asking about subclass 482, so subclass basically, see, subclass 482 is temporary skill shortage visa. So
Yes.
basically what it means is like, employer over here is finding it really difficult to get those skill set in our own local market, like in our in Australian market. So what they are trying to do is they are trying to get those skilled people from offshore, and they are trying to meet the requirement of the business. Like for example, at the moment we have got, I'm just giving you an example, there is a lot of shortage of fitters, welders, those kind of tradesperson. So but still, for the factory and for other those kind of settings, you need those kind of people to run the business. So if we are not able to find those skilled people around our market, we are able to get those people from offshore. So you can't just get anyone from offshore. They need to meet the minimum eligibility requirement. That is, they need to have those kind of qualification in their trade. They need to have minimum years of experience. For 482, we need to have at least minimum 2 years of work experience. And also, like, you need to be nominated for this position. Your employer has to be nominating you for this position, and you also need the right skill set to do the job, meeting the requirement. And another important thing is you need to have a relevant English as well in order to come and work over here. Like for example, someone coming from Nepal, India, or Vietnam or some other countries. If they don't know how to speak in English, there's no point bringing them over here, right? Because they will
Right.
not be able to communicate with other workers working in factory. So they are basic eligibility requirement. As long as you are meeting them, then yes, employer can sponsor you.
Okay. What is the minimum that they have to score for 482 application? Is it any specific score that needs to be scored, or
They need to have at least functional English,
okay,
not like you don't have to have like superior or
competent,
one of,
proficient?
yeah,
Yeah.
professional, those kind of English. As long as you have a functional English, you should be able to meet
All
482
right.
requirement. Yes.
Yes. Thank you for this, Pooja. And yeah, we'll have questions from people who are there. And yeah, there's one question uh, asking for can we apply for a student visa if there are three visitor visa rejections from India to Australia?
Remember one thing, when it's a visit visa or when you are applying for a student visa, there is one main criteria you need to suffice. That is GTE, which is genuine temporary entrant, showing to the department you're only coming here to fulfill your purpose. When you're coming here for the visitor visa, you are telling the department your purpose of coming here can be either tourism, or it can be meeting your family members, or it can be any short business trip where you want to come and attend any seminar or expo. So there has to be a motive behind it. You can't just say I want to go to Australia. There
Yes,
has to be
yes.
some reason behind. So that's how we provide the department the evidence that your arrival here is a temporary purpose. Now when you come as a student, the same requirement is there, GTE, general temporary entrant. So where you are telling to department over here is your purpose of coming over here is to get yourself qualified, and once you attain that qualification, you will go back to your country.
All right.
Okay. Now, requirement and eligibility for these two are all different things. Now, when you come as a student, you need to have, for example, if you're planning to come here for masters, you need to have bachelor degree. And if you're planning to come here for masters, the bachelor should be somewhere correlating with what you're going to do in masters.
Yes.
And you need to be able to tell the department after attaining that masters how it's going to help you, along with how you can contribute back to your community or your country. So you need to have all those guidelines, you need to fulfill all those things. And also another most important thing is your financial aspect. Are you able to afford to pay the fees over here or not? Are you able to sustain your livelihood here or not? So
Yeah.
you need to have a financial backing of what you are telling to the department as well. So there are various criteria, and there is nothing as such. If your three visitor visa is refused, you can't apply for student. Both of them have their different perspective and different requirements.
Yes. I think the query is answered.
Yeah,
Um,
and as I can see, there was a query like, when you have a 491 visa, are you like, can you move or not? Like, for example, this is what you asked me earlier.
yeah.
Yes, so when you have 491 visa. Basically, what is 491 visa? 491 visa is the state, it's a regional, part of that state has sponsored you, nominated you, because you have told and signed the declaration, yes, you are willing to live in that state, in a regional part of that state and contribute.
Yes.
But now you have got your 491 visa. It does not tell anywhere that you can't leave the state. You can go to different state, but definitely because you have signed over there that you will, contribute to the state, you have to let the department know that because of whatever reason you have to move. The reason can be, your job, like, for example, you are not able to get the job in your nominated field, or you probably have got a better opportunity in different field, or for example, you got married,
Yeah.
like you are in Victoria, your husband is in Sydney, so you might have to move to the regional part of Sydney to be with your spouse.
Yeah.
So there can be various genuine reason which you have to let the department know and take the approval, then you can move to a different regional state as well.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We'll look into the next question.
Send comments.
Yeah. Can we apply for a visitor visa? It's the same question. I think this is answered. Yeah. What's the scope of the civil construction in Australia?
Well, obviously, as you know, Australia has it there is a lot of scope of construction in Australia, because Australia is still developing. We are still extending. There's still a lot of construction happening, and as you know, there's so many migrants coming. It is creating the job opportunity for all different kind of people.
Yeah.
So obviously, with that, there will be a lot of development happening. So obviously, when the development happens, obviously there is a scope for any construction related occupation.
Yeah.
And recently, as you all know, like Western Australia has prioritized this field, construction and building. If anyone has, construction and building skill assessment, related occupation skill assessment, they can apply, and you all will be prioritized in terms of processing. So obviously, there is a lot of scope. Yes.
For civil construction.
Yes.
Hope that answered your query. And also, if you have further details or if you want further appointment or consultation, you can always contact us, our Excel Global Services. You can call us on 0415 060 000. And we'll look into the next question. What's the PR scope if we take only diploma in civil construction course?
See, PR scope.
Yeah, it's just advanced diploma. If we take the advanced diploma in civil construction, what is the scope for PR
See,
that we
this
have?
is a very good course. If you do this course, you will be able to get a skill assessment from Engineering Australia in a civil engineering draftsperson. And if you're able to do that, and if you have got on other supporting points,
Yeah.
like for example, from your English, your age, and if you have done any other thing, which can add
To the
points,
profile.
yeah, to your profile, for example, Nati and so on and so forth, you will have good scope, definitely.
Hope that clarifies. Yes, we are. Yes, I think that's all for today. And thank you so much for joining the live session, Pooja. If you have any queries, please do contact us. You can also email at excel.migration at excelgs.com. And also, you can call on the same number which is scrolling onto the screen. And yes, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. But before going, I just want to convey these messages to everyone. Uh, Needless to reiterate how important it is for you to, like work for your points. Everyone who has got skill assessment, and they are just wasting their time thinking they will do their PT tomorrow, day after, next month, nati after a couple of months. I think it's really high time for you people to pull your socks up, because see, as you know, the quota has completely shrinked. So if you don't get your score high, it will be very, very difficult for you to get, nominated by state. So if you have still not yet, getting prepared in order to pull those points up, guys, this is a high time, and this is a we cannot reiterate again how important it is for you to get good score in your English, and also do nati, and also do everything by which you can claim extra points to boost your profile to get nominated this financial year. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much.